Alright, so, what up? I am JMar TDowe, that's the other guy. It's the JMar TDowe Show, and we're bringing you another legendary installment of our show with your legendary co-host JMar and not so legendary TDowe. Tonight, we're going to discuss, today's hot topic is going to be Dwight Howard, the bum of Dwight Howard. And today I'm going to go a step further. How about whose parade of the free agent world, soon-to-be free agent world, was worse? Dwight Howard or LeBron James? Who you got?
That's a good question, but I'm going to have to go with LeBron James. I think his is going to be the worst for the next 200 years.
Why is that?
Because it's LeBron James. Most of the world can't stand him, and I certainly can't stand him. I hate to use the word hate, but I just really dislike.
And what is it about LeFraud James that, like, what makes his little free agency parade worse? Because let me just tell you this: right now, the way Dwight Howard is going, we still got one more NBA season to tolerate this bullcrap. And I'll tell you this: before this, I actually liked Dwight Howard. I had no reason to not like him. But this guy is wearing me out. First of all, to say he didn't get his coach fired, we all know he had input there. He did get the coach fired. So where's Stan Van Gundy now? And not to mention, now the player doesn't even want to be there. So he got rid of the coach, and he don't want to be there. He's gone from wanting to go to, you name it. There's 5 NBA teams he's wanted to go to. The Nets, the Clippers are supposedly in it now, the Lakers. You name it. It's just nonsense. The Atlanta Hawks. So to be honest, no matter how this thing ends, I think it's going to end worse, even though I can't stand LeFraud. It's going to end worse with your boy Dwight.
First off, I can't see Dwight Howard going to any team that he wants to go to. And if I was the Orlando Magic, I would ship him as far away from the teams that he wanted to go to. All he's done is put the franchise in limbo. Sort of like LeFraud James, but on a less of a scale. But as far as Dwight Howard, when it comes to what team he's going to land at, I really have no idea. But I hope it's someone who has no shot of even contending for a title. Because even the moves that he wanted to make before all the teams made all of these big moves, they were questionable. Why would he want to go to the Nets when they had no one at the time he wanted to go there? And even the teams that he's talking about going to, adding him is going to make them drastically better team, but still not a favorite, maybe a contender, but still not better than Chicago, still not better than Miami, still not better than Boston.
Oh, dude, look, I agree. And here's the thing. This show is about not agreeing, so the fact that I uttered those words together, I and agree together, no bueno for the show. I apologize to the viewers out there who expect bigger and better things from me. But let me just say this. LeFraud James, raggedy self. Now, look, I can just get on a tangent. You're not going to be talking about this for 2 hours. We've talked about this plenty of times. He is a fraud beyond all frauds. However, as my boy Stephen A. says, the one thing about Dwight is he's going down that path. It's a slippery slope because the thing is LeFraud, when he was with Cleveland, he wanted to be liked. I don't think he aimed to become a villain like he is now, but he is. And Dwight's on that same path. So the conversation of whose free agency or whose parade is the worst, like trying to, seriously, let's keep it under wraps. If you want to put it out there, leak it out there, you might want to go somewhere, but the fact that you're making it known that I don't want to play here, but I want to play here, and here. Dude, come on. You're a free agent 1 year. Wait or shut your freaking trap. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's where we're going to have to disagree on one thing. You said LeBron wasn't hated. He wanted to be liked when he was in Cleveland.
Yeah, I did. I said that.
I totally disagree. I think the world hated LeBron when he was in Cleveland. They just needed a reason to express it, and that was the decision. That allowed everyone that already hated LeBron to express their hate without showing that it was just pure hate. They had a reason then to lash out. everybody hated LeBron since day one. Came in the league as the chosen one. Never will be Kobe. Never will be Jordan. So I still don't see why he's the chosen one.
Well, okay, to an extent, I'm not even going to utter the words anymore. I apologize. I've said it too many times already in this conversation. In the history of our working together and our friendship, I've never said it more than this. I refuse to say those words again together. I am agree. How about I don't agree? So anyway, nonetheless, I will say this. When he was in Cleveland, I think, for instance, when they played the Spurs in the finals, I think at that time it was one of those rooting things where like, you know what, it's really LeBron versus the Spurs in the finals. We knew LeBron didn't have a shot, but you're like, you know what, this young kid, you're right, he'll never live up to the expectations, but once he began to parade himself and made that big ordeal about, I'm going to go play in South Beach, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8. I mean, he can be lucky to get more than 1, let's be honest. So nonetheless, I still will fall on the side of Dwight Howard is well on his way to make his retarded free agency period worse than anybody else. Now, what I think is going to happen, because he wants to, he saw what LeFraud did as far as being in the spotlight and seeing the world talk about where will he end up, which who cares, as long as it's not the Mavericks. What's going to end up happening is he's going to get traded to a team, maybe not, he might the Magic, and then he's going to end up making it a big parade at the end of this season too. I mean, I'm done with the drama, dude. It's old. I'm sick of it, and the argument here is, which one's worse, LeFraud or Dwight? I mean, what an awful conversation this is. But unfortunately, that crap is plastered all over the freaking ESPN.com and all over every sports channel. And when I turn the radio on in the morning, I don't want to hear this crap. Huh?
It's flooding the airways, and I'm sick of it. It's not even that big of a deal. Orlando, they're ready to cut. Cleveland wasn't. So that's the difference. That's why I won't live up to what Ron had.
Well, I'll say this. Recently, the Orlando Magic new GM, he's come out and tried to make one last plea with Dwight. Dwight, of course, said he's not interested. I mean, what a bum, dude. Seriously, he could basically be that franchise for the next, 10 years, right? But the bum he'll play with, because he sees what LeFraud did with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and he sees what these other superstars joining forces, what they're doing. I mean, quit being a fraud. You're the core of that team. Build it from the ground up. But we got one more minute, so 60 seconds. What are some parting thoughts on this ridiculous conversation that I have no doubt we'll be talking about again in another few weeks?
Well, it's simple. In closing, I'm starting not to like Dwight so much, just given the entire situation, but he's irrelevant to me. There's only one situation where I'll start to like him and he'll be more relevant to me, is if he just stops with all the ego trip and just go sign with Boston. It's as simple as that.
Hey, okay, on that note, that's going to lead to part 2. That's TDowe. I'm JMar TDowe Show. Subscribe at the top, dislike at the bottom, email, comment, let us know what you think. Holla, deuces.